Hello everyone, welcome to the video. If you're watching this series of videos that we started, we have been working on several labs for the AZ104 exam for the Microsoft Azure Administrator certification. For this particular lab, you need to provision a lab environment, but the default configuration you most likely won't be able to deploy if you have a free subscription or a trial subscription. During this COVID condition, I think Microsoft has enabled some regional core restrictions. So what I tried in the previous lab, we went down to a very like the bare bone deployment of virtual machine with only 500 megabytes of memory and one CPU, and that caused some problem, and we were able to do a lot of labs, but until we come down to the routing, we didn't see any problem. But the routing, we could not have enough resources or enough power for one of the virtual machine to act as a router, so we got stuck. So in this lab, I'm going to go through this whole 4 sections very quickly and just redeploy our labs using a little bit better virtual machine, which is going to use still one core, but it's got 3.5 gigs of memory, and we'll see if that deployment is successful. Okay, so let's start back at 1 and go through very quickly. So we're going to use the East US. We're going to go to Azure, and let's see if I have this here. So do a reconnect to connect back to our shell. Okay, we are connected. So then we're gonna use the East. So this is, sometimes this happens when your PowerShell window behaves weird. So just go and refresh the window and restart your browser. Most of the time that will take care of the problem, and if it does not, then I'll show you another way what you can do about it. Alright, let's see if, yeah, so that's already fixed the problem. So I'm just gonna use East US as my region, and then we're gonna create a resource group. This is gonna store the name of the resource group we want, and then we're gonna run this command to create the resource group. Once the resource group is created, we're gonna run this command and it will start the deployment. Okay, before I can start this, I need to upload these 2 files that I have just fixed. So make sure they're, and in this one, let me make sure if I have anything in here. Oh yeah, I need to change that one. So in the previous lab, we tried to use this standard B1 LS, but for this lab, I want to change it to this particular type, standard DS1V2. Alright, so let's upload those 3 files one more time. So I'm uploading the template file. Then I'm gonna upload a VM template. So VMS template, VM template, both are done. I'm gonna upload the parameters file. There we go. So all 3 are done. So you should be able to run this as a batch job. So that's running in the background. So let's go back to our lab. So we're gonna create a new resource group by running that command. So that is done, and we'll start the deployment of some resources in that particular resource group. It's going to run in the background, and we'll do the same thing. We'll create a 3rd resource group, and as soon as that's done, we're going to run the batch job in the background. And I'm going to post the video as soon as the deployments are done. We'll come back and review, and hopefully this time we'll not have any deployment errors, and we can proceed to the next section pretty quickly. Okay everyone, welcome back. So we started the deployment using the ARM templates, and if you look at RG1, it says the deployment is successful. RG2, deployment is successful and RG3 is also a successful deployment. So we are done with the first part of the task. So let's go back. So we have done all of that. One more time, we're going to configure the hub and spoke topology, and this is done using the peering. I'm going to go and do this pretty quickly. If you have trouble following, you can go back and look at the other video where I have a full video on this particular task. So I'm just going to go to this particular VNet. From that VNet, I'm just gonna go. Oh, look at that! I already have this setting available for me. Looks like, just to make sure if I have everything right. I'm gonna go to the peering. No, there is nothing available. So we need to add the peering. So for the peering, I'm gonna copy this. So here I'm peering from 1 to 2. We're gonna go with the resource manager, and from 1 to 2 we are doing it. So from the 2 to 1 we're gonna select this, and for what happened, name of the peering from remote network, they're saying it's not available. So let me take a quick look at it. Okay, so that's good, and I think for these labs we're enabling all of them. So let's look at this. So all 4 of them, they're allowed. So now I can hit OK to configure this peering. And while this is going on, we can start doing the other peering. So that will be from virtual network 1 to 3. So that's going to be 1 to 3. By the way, the other peering is successful by now. And we're gonna go to the third one, and we're gonna copy. You're gonna put the name, which is 3 to 1. So the top one is 1 to 3, 3 to 1. And again, we're gonna enable all of them. We're not using a gateway. We're gonna say OK. So that is gonna complete all the steps that we needed for task 2. Now to test the connectivity of this virtual peering, we'll do some stuff very quickly. So what's happening, let's verify one more time. So we did it, we did 2 peering, and then we'll do the testing. Okay, so the peering is now available. So let's just go one more time back to the resource group. So in this resource group, if I go to VM0, you have to go to the networking. Let's see if the peering is available here. We gotta go to virtual network. So let's go over here. Okay, so VNet 1, I just want to verify this real quick. Peering, it should show me 2 different peering. VNet 2 should show only 1, and VNet 3 should show only 1. Okay, they're all good. Okay, I'm happy. So here we want to go to the network watcher to test our network connectivity. So we have done this before already in another dedicated lab, so you already know how to do that. So in this one, connection troubleshoot bait is where we want to be. So connection troubleshoot, and that's gonna let you choose from a resource group. Okay, our G1 is resource group, source type virtual machine. Any virtual machine from this resource group, try to get to that virtual machine. And if QDN is 10.62.04, specify manually, and TCP and 3389 is the port that we have opened. So then you just click check, and if the connection is successful, you will see a success message. So what's happening, I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay, so the test has been done. So for the first one, it says reachable. So we have verified our connection. So let's go back to the lab again. So on the next one, we're going to check connection between RG1 to RG4. So what is the difference? RG1 VM0 to VM2. Resource group 1 VM0 VM0. Okay, and this one, most of the settings is same, but here the IP address is different. This is for the IP address in VM3, so VM1. So in the previous one, we have checked VM0 to VM2 connectivity, and it was successful. And this one, we're going to check VM0 to VM3 connectivity. We have a peering here, so we would expect this one would go just fine as well. So let's go there, update this IP to 63 and perform the check one more time. And as soon as the check is done, I'll be back. Okay, the next test has also been done. So we have verified that from VM1, I can reach to VM2 and also to VM3. For the final test, what we'll try, we'll select the resource group 2 and we'll try to connect from VM2 to VM3. And since I do not have any peering, this should result in unreachable status. So let's do that. So in this case, we just need to change the virtual machine to virtual machine. Okay, resource group first, pick up RG2, VM2, and to this machine which is the IP of the VM3. So let's try to perform this check option again, and as soon as this is done, I'll be back. Okay, we are back. So in this one, we checked our connection between the virtual machine 3 and virtual machine 2 and the virtual machine 3. And as we expected, it's unreachable because we have not established any peering. So we have completed all the steps for the task 3 as well. So let's start with task 4. And this is what we were trying to do in our previous video when we got stuck. So hopefully this is going to go much better this time. So what we need to do, we want to go and find this particular virtual machine. So easiest way is to just search for that one. It should show up. Once you go there, you want to go to networking, and from the network interface, we are going to enable the IP forwarding. So here, go to networking, go to the network interface of that machine, go to IP configuration, and enable the IP forwarding. Now note that this is required if you want to use this machine as the router. Okay. So this is the note that's stating the same thing I just said. This setting is required in order for this virtual machine VM0 to function as a router, which will route traffic between two spoke virtual networks. Okay. And now you need to configure operating system of this virtual machine to support routing. So now what we need to do, we need to go back to the virtual machine and we need to run and install this remote access Windows feature. So let's go back to our virtual machine. Which one we need? The VM0. So let's first go to that one real quick again. Copy the whole thing and search for the virtual machine. And in the virtual machine, you should have a run command. It's somewhere at the bottom here. Here we go. It's under operations. You have the run command. You can click on that one. and we're going to install first the remote access. And to do that, you just run the PowerShell script. It will give you a window, paste it and run it. And while it's running, I'm going to pause the video, and once it's done, we'll review the output. Okay, the script execution is done and it says exit code is success. That means we were able to install this remote access Windows feature. And let's go back to the lab. I think we need to install a few more things. So once that's done, we need to run these following commands, and that's going to install the routing role service in our Windows environment. So let's just copy all of that and remove this and paste all those commands, and I'm going to run it again, and I'm going to pause the video. As soon as they're done, we'll come back and restart at that time. Okay everyone, so we are back. So this execution is now done. As you can see, the script execution complete, and here succeeded and no change needed. So we have successfully installed our roles that we're going to use for our routing. Okay, so that's where we are. So we have completed up to step number 9, and at this time we need to create a route table. So go to the route table. Route table comes as a service, so we'll just go there and search for route tables. So it should come up, it's right there. So select it, and we're going to create a new route tables, and we're going to configure it the way it's provided in the lab. So click on add. So it should give you the new window to configure. Here we go. So for the name, A0606RT23, so 223 looks like. Subscription is whatever you have. Resource group is the second one, RG2, and virtual network gateway route propagation is disabled. So we are still not using any network gateway for this lab. Okay. It says this table creation may take up to 3 minutes. So I'm just going to click on it, and the validation is successful. It already started the deployment. I'm going to pause the video as soon as it's available. Oh, actually it's all done. So let's just continue. So go to the resource, back to the route table blade, refresh and click on that route. So this is the route really. So you can also come back to this view by going to the route table. Okay, and that route table should have only this is the route that we just added, and the same view. We have come to the same view at this time. Okay, so when we have that on this route table, so we created a route table. Now we have to add route. So here we need to add some stuff. So go to route, and as you see, there is nothing defined. Just click on add, and the first route that we're going to create, they're going to name it route VNet 2 to VNet 3. Again, so if you remember, we have not created any peering between 2 and 3. Okay, address prefix is this, and next hop is the virtual appliance, because this is the virtual machine that we're going to use, and then all of the traffic we want to pass it through the virtual machine, and in that virtual machine we have enabled IP forwarding. So remember all of that stuff. And next, hop address, just select the hop address and just put it in here. Okay, over here I'm all done, so just click on OK. It should add that route now. The route is now defining how the traffic should flow from VNet 2 to VNet 3. So you're saying the traffic has to flow, and it has to go through some custom defined route. Alright, so in this router blade, click on subnets and click associate. So over here, click subnet, and now we need to associate a subnet. Okay, and create a route table with the following sequence. Hold on. Associate, the associate route table. So we're gonna use this associate vnet 2, and that is gonna be subnet 0. So let's make sure that we understand. So in this blade, we went to subnet blade and we're associating virtual network 2 on subnet 0. Okay, so let's click OK. And then what we need to do, we need to click on add again, route table blade and add. So route table, so we need another route table, so click on add, and this time we're gonna do 3-2. So we did 2-3, now we're doing really 3-2. Okay, so name is this, resource group is now this time RG3. Virtual network gateway is disabled, so at this time we can say create, so it should be creating our route table. Okay, then we're gonna add another route as soon as this deployment is done. Okay, let's refresh this. Yeah, here we go. So we can go there, and from here I'm gonna go to routes and add. So in that one, this is gonna be the name of the route. Sorry, we have done all that, so address prefix is this. I mean, route name is this, address prefix is that. Virtual network gateway, we want to use the virtual appliance. And the address that we want to connect is this. Just hit OK and it should start configuration of this one. And this one, click on this one more time and go to subnets, and then associate, we need to associate a subnet and a virtual network VNet 3 to subnet 0. So virtual network VNet 3 to subnet 0. Okay, so we have done all of that, and now we need to go back to the network watcher troubleshoot blade. So go back and go to network watcher. Actually, you just need the network watcher here. Network watcher is right there, the second one. I mean, select it. Okay, so we are within network watcher right now. We want to go to the connection troubleshoot space. So now we're gonna check 2 and we're gonna choose VM2, and we're gonna choose to VM3. Okay, that's my VM3, and this is route is 3389, and I'm gonna check the connection one more time, and this time our connection should be reachable. If for any reason we see that its connection is unreachable, we have to restart the VM0. Okay, so let me pause the video, and as soon as the result is here, I'll restart. Okay, the testing is done, and as you can see now it says reachable. So from VM2 to VM3, now we have proper connection that we have established using the steps that we followed in the lab. The last is the load balancer, so let's do that in the next video. So let's come back. So thank you for watching the video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and good luck for the exam.